In this video, we're going to experiment with the neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP technique, that you can use to change the way that you feel about a person who triggers you into fear, intimidation, or negativity. If you've ever heard that you can reduce your nervousness before a speech, a date, a job interview by imagining the other people as naked, you'll be familiar with what we're about to do. So start by imagining someone that you typically avoid. Maybe it's someone who's difficult to deal with, who intimidates you, has a lot of control over you, or just makes you uncomfortable in some weird way. You might also choose a super popular person from school, a boss or teacher, or some other authority figure. For a group, like an audience or a Zoom room full of colleagues, you can make a composite picture that represents that group instead. For the rest of this video, it might help to close your eyes. Now think of a situation in the future where you will have to deal with this person or this group, and just notice what happens in your mind's eye as you contemplate this. You're probably already automatically making a mental picture of them, but if that's hard for you for some reason, you can imagine a Polaroid photograph of that person instead. Tuning into that image, let that person or group appear in front of you in your mind's eye. Tuning into that image, let that person or group appear in front of you in your mind's eye right now. Notice what aspect of them bothers you the most. It could be an element of their appearance, like their facial expression. Perhaps they're much taller and they tower over you. It might be some type of body posture that's defensive, or even a style of dress that, for whatever reason, you find obnoxious. Now bring into this imaginative experience the sound of their voice. Is there something about it that's annoying to you or makes you cringe? Maybe it's an overpowering voice that makes you jump. It could even be an accent or very specific words that they say to you. Go ahead and close your eyes again and experience that now. This technique works with all the other senses and modalities that your negative experience of these people might also involve. That could include a kinesthetic or feeling sense, or even your sense of smell. So of all the aspects of this person or group that you've noticed so far, pick the one aspect that bothers you the most, the very most, whenever you have to interact with them. This will probably be something that is exaggerated for you as an individual compared to other people you know who have to deal with them. This is the very aspect that we're aiming to change. If they're much taller than you or physically imposing than you, shrink them down in your mind. You could also imagine yourself standing over that person or in front of them, feeling yourself getting taller and taller, broader and broader, until your clothes start to rip at the seams like the Hulk, or you suddenly develop the capacity to breathe fire and roar like a dragon, or to sing like an angel. How do they react to these changes in you? I encourage you to pause the video here and really let your imagination soar. There are no limits. If it's their voice that nags at you, you can speed it up or slow it down. You can imagine them speaking with a funny voice like that of Minnie Mouse, Homer Simpson, SpongeBob. Maybe it would be funny for them to adopt the unique language pattern of Yoda. Pick whatever harmless character jumps into your mind and go with it. Now hear that person or that group using that funny voice now. How does your experience of them change when you hear them addressing you by name or giving you a hard time using that voice? Now let's take it a little further and add something humorous. Concentrating on their face, you could give them a big red clown's nose, a wig, facial hair, or a dramatic makeup style. The idea of all of this is to change the content of your memory of that person so that you can stop taking them so seriously and stop feeling so disempowered in their presence. Alternatively, you could add a soundtrack that plays in the background whenever you think of them. It could be the theme song from a ridiculous TV show, jingle from a cheesy ad, or even music that they would just never normally listen to, that it would be comical to think of them listening to it. There is no wrong way to do any of this, but if you want the results to stick, you must practice envisioning them in this way over and over until you can't not make yourself chuckle at the memory of it. Write it out, make a sketch of it, or record yourself describing it, and then revisit that new representation of that person or that group on a daily basis. Ideally, these people will no longer be a problem for you at all. And at the very least, you will become acutely aware of what it is your brain is doing that makes it hard for you to deal with these kinds of people in the first place. Once you've got the technique down pat, repeat it on other people or other groups that you have trouble with. You can even apply it to phobias of animals, reptiles, or insects. The sky's the limit. Have fun with this, and I'll see you in the next video.